Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to Bookmas Day 24. Also, Merry Christmas Eve to those of you that celebrate. I will be taking a break from videos and everything for the last week or so of the year, just because I have been pre-filming and filming throughout the month of December to be ready for Bookmas. So I am doing this quite early in the month just because it's an easy video that I can get ready to post, and I don't want to be doing it too close to Christmas. Obviously, this is posting Christmas Eve. So as you can see, I have books here that are wrapped up, and I'm going to be selecting my TBR for January from wrapped up books because this is releasing on Christmas Eve, so presents, but also January is my birthday month, so it's like double present. Christmas and my birthday. And I haven't done this in a while. I did it at the beginning of last year and I really liked it. But a little twist on it is these are not all of my TBR books. I wish it was, but I do have that entire bookshelf back there full of books as well. These are 20 of the books I am most interested in reading right now. There are some on that shelf behind me that I am more excited for, but I did want a variety. I didn't want these to be like all fantasy because I probably could have picked 20 fantasy books to put on here. So I picked like 5 fantasy, 5 romance, 5 kind of a random mix of genres that I don't typically read, so like literary fiction and historical fiction, and then 5 that I would consider like thrillers. So I'm hoping I get a good variety and I'm not reading like all fantasy, all romance. I tried to mix it up a little bit. There are a few on here that are a little bit intimidating, but I think it's time that I at least try to put them on a TBR and get to them. So for the entire year of 2025, I plan on picking 12 books from my TBR every month to select. I may read more, but I'm just gonna pick 12 because we've been picking so many for the past few months that it's just kind of locked me into reading those books and those books specifically and not being able to read as a mood reader and not able to read on my Kindle as much as I would like. So physically, I'm gonna pick 12 books every month. So I was gonna number these and like pull a number or spin it, but I think I'm just gonna use a random number generator and I'll just change the number every time. So there are 20 books on here right now and I'm just gonna hit generate and we'll get started. I'm gonna start up here, count, and then here and count. 3. 1, 2, 3. I kind of know, I think, which ones these smaller ones are. I tried to wrap them in a way that when I open it, you all will see it first. And I think I got the orientation right, but we'll find out in a minute. Okay, so this is The Monarchs by Cass Morgan and Danielle Page. And this is the second book in the, I don't even know if it has a series, but it's the sequel to The Ravens, which I just read. And I picked this book up on Book Outlet. I can't go into much about what this synopsis is because The Ravens is the first book in the series, and this may give away stuff in the synopsis that it happened in the first one. But basically, it's a sorority with witches. So they're at this university and they've kind of hidden themselves as their coven as a sorority, and they choose girls every year to be part of it. And we followed a character in the last book that came to the university to try to get away and build roots from her mother because her mother made them move around a lot when she was younger. And there were reasons for that. We obviously find out in the book. I did end up picking up this one because I did find it on Book Outlet and I did enjoy the first one. I'm hoping I enjoy this one just as much. We'll see. So book number 1, The Monarchs. So we'll change to 19. 2. Are we just gonna pick all the ones at the beginning? All these hardbacks are like fantasy books too, so I hope we're not picking from the beginning. I put all the hardbacks for the most part on the top, for the most part. Although I really am in the mood for fantasy, so I wouldn't be that upset. Oh, yes! Oh, I'm so excited for this. This was one of my Illumicrate books I got back, I want to say September, and it is a vampire fantasy. So this follows a girl that has spent her entire life perfecting her blood magic. She is the daughter of a powerful but disgraced blood worker. And to protect her brother, she assassinates their father and takes her place at the head of the family. And that is only the start of her revenge. Samuel is a bastard with a terrible gift. When he stumbles upon the first victim of a magical serial killer, he's drawn into the world of sorcery and intrigue he's worked so hard to avoid, and is pulled deeply into the ravenous and bloodthirsty court of the Vampire King. Tasked to discover the identity of the killer cutting a bloody swatch through the city, Samuel, Shan, and mysterious royal blood worker Isaac find themselves growing ever closer to each other. But Shan's plans are treacherous, and as she lures Samuel into her complicated web of desire, treason, and vengeance, he must decide if the good of their nation is worth the cost of his soul. I think it's going to be a love triangle, which I'm not thrilled about, but these end pages are absolutely gorgeous. The book itself is gorgeous, but these end pages are beautiful. And I've been itching to read a vampire book. I don't know why. But I have a few of them, and this is one, and this is the one I was most excited to read, so that is why I put this one on the selection for the TBR. So that is book number 2. Just change to 18, and hopefully we don't get like 1. I'll be a little pissed off. 4. No, we're just going to still stay up here, though. Probably should have done the spinner. I'm not good at opening these today. Is that right? Oh, yes. Okay. So this is An Academy for Liars by Alexis Henderson. A student will find that the hardest lessons sometimes come from outside the classroom in the stunning dark academia novel from acclaimed author of The Year of the Witching and House of Hunger. So this is a student and advisor relationship, and as she's like learning her power, she's captivated by her advisor Dante. So as she continues her study, her control grows, and she starts to uncover more about the secret world she has entered into, including the disquieting history of Drayton College. She is increasingly disturbed by what she learns, for it seems the ultimate test is to embrace absolute power without succumbing to corruption. I love a good dark academia, and this is the perfect time of year to read that, so very excited about that book as well. I'm excited about all of these, obviously. I picked them specifically for this TBR, but I am hoping that we don't continue to just get all of the same books. We're at 17. 3 again. I know what this one is. This is the Karen M. McManus, I think, because I had 2 smaller hardbacks and I already opened one. Yep. So this is Karen M. McManus's You'll Be the Death of Me. So this is about 3 people that used to be close, but now they just kind of go to school and they don't have anything in common, but they're all having like bad situations in their days. And one of them pulls into campus late for class and runs into the other 2, and it seems like the perfect opportunity to turn a bad day around. They'll ditch and go into the city, just the 3 of them, like old times. Except they've barely left the parking lot before they run out of things to say. So then they see another student skipping school and follow him to the scene of his own murder. In one chance move, their day turns from dull to deadly, and it's about to get worse. So they all have a connection to the dead kid, and they're all hiding something. Now we're wondering, could it be that their chance reconnection wasn't by chance after all? I really like her books. I have quite a few of them. This is the oldest one I have on my TBR for her, which is why I chose it for the month. That's it. That's the only reason, because I do have other ones by her that I'm excited for as well. I might switch to a spinner. Let me rearrange. So we're down to 16. I think I may go to a wheel. So 1 through 16. The number's at 12. At least we're not in the single digits anymore. Okay, I'm hoping this is a romance. We'll see. This is book number 5. I hope I'm holding this the right way. Nope. This is the oldest book on my TBR. And one that kind of scares me. I don't know why. I feel like I'm gonna love it. I like sci-fi, I like fantasy, and I feel like this is a sci-fi, like space sci-fi, so I don't know why I wouldn't like it, but it's intimidating and it's the start of a new series, so guess we're gonna read Red Rising. And I think this is about a guy that, I think it's been described as like Hunger Games in space, so I think Darrow, who's the main character, has to like fight his enemies, and it says like he becomes one of them. I don't know too much about it. It's a sci-fi dystopian Hunger Games in space. I'll give it a shot. We'll see. It's also not like super long, but it's just very intimidating. It's not a genre I typically read, so. Is it, okay, number 5. I was like, is it number 2 again? So this is book 6. So we're halfway through the TBR. This is either a thriller or a romance. I'm pretty sure. Watch me be wrong again. And it's backwards. Okay, finally a romance. This is First Down by Grace Riley. It is the first in like a sports romance interconnected standalone series. I have Breakaway, which is the second. I don't have the third or fourth one. Football romance. I thought this would be great because it's still kind of football season in January. It's the end of the season, but it's still, playoffs are going on. So tutoring the star quarterback in exchange for a few fake dates won't lead to anything more, right? So fake dating, tutoring, we all know how it's going to end. So I love a good fake dating. I think this is, okay, so it's college at least. I was really afraid that it was high school for a second, but it is college romance. So looking forward to getting into this, also because I want to read Breakaway, which is the hockey one. So we're halfway there. That was number 6. I have all these like freaking ads on the bottom. Number 12. How many do we have? 14? So 14, 13, 12. I know which one this is. This is a thriller. I believe this is Listen for the Lie. Yep. So another book I picked up at the book outlet sale. I've been wanting to read this like since it came out. And when I saw it on there, I wanted to pick it up. And I think this is a podcast situation. Ben Owens is the podcast narrator. It's his podcast, Listen for the Lie. So he decides to investigate this girl's murder for the show's second season. And her best friend, Lucy, is forced to return to the place she vowed never to set foot in again to solve her friend's murder, even if she's the one who did it. The truth is out there if we just listen. So I've heard great things about this book, so I'm very excited for it, and I love a good thriller. This writing is huge. Also great. So looking forward to that. Number 10. That should be this one, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I just knocked over everything. Oh, I'm so excited for this book. So this is a like fantasy romance, I think, but more romance. So I did classify it as a romance novel, but I think it's like a Great Gatsby retelling. And I love The Great Gatsby. But this has Daisy looking forward to endless golden freedom of summer, no more college, no more pressure, no more worries. But when her cousin goes missing at an exclusive house party, Daisy's all too ready to confront the mysterious host, only to discover the wealthy recluse is Jay Gatsby, her childhood sweetheart, now sinfully hot and impossible to deny. She could never resist him, and it isn't long before she's entangled in a web of wealth and lies and obsession, culminating in a shocking act of violence that shatters the summer haze and threatens to drown them all. But it isn't until Gatsby is shot through the heart and survives that Daisy discovers the truth of how he clawed his way up in the world by selling the secret of immortality to the highest bidder. Now with her friends' lives at stake, her own dizzying new powers will still volatile, and in an unimaginable threat closing in, Daisy will have to face an impossible choice. Side with the man who claimed her body and soul, or with the monsters who would see him lost to her forever. So I was reading this at Target when I bought it, and I was like, oh, that sounds good, and it took me a minute. It took me until I got the name Gatsby in the synopsis because Daisy didn't click. But Daisy is also the name of the woman in The Great Gatsby. So we shall see. I think this might be the beginning of a series. I don't know. But I'm looking forward to that one a lot. I've never read Rebecca Kenney before either. Never even heard of her. So we'll see if I enjoy her writing. Let's move these books up here since everything decided to fall down. Number 8. Probably, oh, this could be a few things actually, because there are 2 hardbacks on here. One is The Women and the other is a Stephen King. I don't think this is Stephen King's because it feels too thick. So this is number 9. Where is he? I was really hoping for another fantasy. So this is Air by Sabah Tahir. This will be my first Sabah Tahir book because I do have An Ember in the Ashes, but I've not read it yet. So this is the beginning of her new series, and I guess I'm gonna read it first, which is fine. But I don't know too much about this. I've heard great things, but I think it's about 3 different people. There's one girl and 2 different guys. So our girl Ace has seen her share of suffering. She ends up in prison because of a mistake she makes. And then, oh no, it's 2 females. So then banished for her people for an unforgivable crime, Saoirse is a down on her luck tracker who uses magic to trace her marks. So she agrees to hunt down a killer who has murdered children, and all she has to do is carry out the job and get paid. But when a chance encounter leads to an unexpected attraction, she learns her mission might cost her far more than she's willing to give up. And then Quill is the crown prince of the empire and nephew of a venerated empress, but he's loath to take the throne when his aunt steps down. As the son of a reviled emperor, he, better than anyone, understands that power corrupts. When a vicious new enemy threatens the survival of the empire, Quill must ask himself if he can rise above his tragic lineage and be the heir to his people need. I don't know if there's gonna be romance. Sounds like there's going to be one in there. I don't really know who it's going to be between, but I've heard great things about her as an author as well as this book so far from the people I've heard talk about it. And I'm looking forward to giving her a shot. Book 4. The nice thing about doing it this way is that I knew I was going to get books that I really wanted to read because I put 20 books on here that I wanted and I was picking 12. So I was going to get like 50% of what I wanted for the most part. Book 4. This is one of 2. I'm not even going to try to guess because I had 2 skinny hardbacks. Okay. So this is Dirty Diana by Jen Besser and Shauna Fest. This was my book of the month selection for November. And this is like considered like literary fiction or something, but it's about being caught between marriage and memories of a more sensual past, the first of 3-part series based on the #1 fiction podcast. So this is going to be a series. Great. Did not know that when I bought it. So I think it's like this woman has a life that she loves, but she's never felt with her husband the way she has with this other guy. And she does go visit this other city when he's there, and she maybe cheats on her husband. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe she's just like her reconnection with this guy from her past has her questioning like what she wants to do with her life. And I think this is going to be more like of a sensual kind of a thing. So returning to Dallas, Diana decides to rediscover the deeply feeling woman she once was. She begins interviewing other women, painting their portraits as they speak. She encourages them to give voice to their secret desires as she captures their deepest, innermost fantasies. But is it possible for Diana to reclaim her more sensual self and maintain the marriage she committed to? What if connecting to her own desire means dissolving the safe life she's so carefully cultivated? It just sounded really interesting, and it's quite short. And I've been wanting to expand my genres, so I thought this would be a good one to pick up. It's like 250 pages, so it should be a nice, quick, interesting read. It sounds very fascinating. All right, so we have 2 more books to select. And I have like 2 romances. And one's kind of a fantasy romance. And that's not gonna help me, I don't think. 2. That's not gonna help me. Hardback. I did not mean to like tape these up as much as I did. Gee. Kind of hard to open when you're not looking at the book. Okay, I'm really expanding the genres this month. I put the literary fiction, the sci-fi on there, all like, well, maybe I'll get some of them. Maybe I'll get 1 or 2 of them, all 3 of them. All 3 of them. Actually, there's still 1 more literary fiction on there. We'll see. This is Kristen Hanna's book about women from the Vietnam War that were nurses over there, I think, for the most part, and it's about their time over there as well as their time back at home dealing with America and the people that didn't even want to be part of that war and everything that happened to them and is happening now in their lives because of that war. So I've only read The Nightingale by her, and I've really, really enjoyed it, and people have said this is better. I have a few other books by her as well, but this one has been the top of my list for a while. It is also on my winter TBR, and it is on my 25 books in 2025, I believe. So, gonna knock it off early this year, I guess. I don't know if any of these other books are on there. I think Red Rising was on one of those TBRs. I don't remember which one it was. If it's the 20 and 25 and 25 are winter. All right, last spin. Thank goodness, because we're hitting the 30-minute mark here. Number 1. I know what this one is now. This might be Stephen King. I can't remember what the other fantasy one I put on here was. I think this is Stephen King. No. Yep. Stephen King's. You Like It Darker. So this is the other, like, one of the other random genres that I put on here. I think I got 4 of them. I got 4 out of 5 of the random ones that I put on here because this is kind of horror. And then I did have a Frederick Bachman book on here as well. That was the 5th one. But I guess the TBR wheel has decided it wants me to make good on my promises to expand my genre selection this year. But I have read quite a few Stephen King books. I have an entire video on the books that I read by him and my thoughts on those. But this is one of his short story collections, which I do enjoy reading because I can read like one story at a time throughout the month. I don't have to sit down and read the whole book at one time. But I've heard mixed reviews about this one, but I feel like all of his books that are short stories are kind of like mixed to me because I like some of them, I don't like some of them. So we'll see how I feel about these ones. All right, give me a second to rearrange and then we will go over the 12 books. To recap, we have Stephen King's You Like It Darker, Kristen Hanna's The Women, Jen Besser and Shanna Fest's Dirty Diana, Air by Sabaa Tahir, An Academy for Liars by Alexis Henderson, Mistress of Lies by K.M. Enright, The Monarchs by Cass Morgan and Danielle Page, You'll Be the Death of Me by Karen M. McManus, Listen for the Lie by Amy Tintera, Red Rising by Pierce Brown, First Down by Grace Riley, and Beautiful Villain by Rebecca Kinney. Okay, so those are the 12 books I'm going to focus on reading in January. I can't believe we're at the beginning of a new year, but I'm very excited for all of these. I'm a little upset with the TBR wheel for giving me 4 out of 5 of the random genres that I chose for this, but that's fine. We're just gonna expand our reading taste a little earlier this year, which could actually help lead throughout the rest of the year, so that's fine as well. But I'm very excited again for all of these. I picked them explicitly for that reason, and we'll see how January goes. So thank you so much for watching if you've made it this far. Thank you for watching Bookmas if you have watched my Bookmas videos. This is the final day. Let me know what's on your TBR for January. I know it's kind of early, so maybe we don't have comments right now, but if you know some books that you really want to read at the beginning of the year, let me know. There are some new releases I will also be adding to this TBR, hopefully, and again, some books from my Kindle Unlimited selection. I wish you all a Merry Christmas to those who celebrate, and I will see the rest of you in the new year.